Giving you team coverage tonight as we follow the flooding in Chattooga County on this storm alert weather day. We had crews there this morning, and now reporter Jeremiah Beatty is there to learn the latest on a boil water advisory. The flooding has only gotten worse, and Cedric Haynes is in the studio live to help us understand what could be coming. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp declared a state of emergency just a few hours ago in an attempt to keep residents in Chattooga and Floyd County safe. He says they are working with local partners to address the damage, and he and his wife are praying for everyone impacted. With a heavy downpour of rain this morning, Chattooga County had damaged roads, homes, and businesses. It's a mess. Cornelia Nicholson brings us a look at the damage.
We're in Summerville, Georgia, and this pool of water behind me is just a small portion of the flooding that took place here in Chattooga County this morning. Now, as we were driving around, we did see several cars just like this one right here that were stuck and abandoned in the water. Heavy rain started covering Chattooga County early Sunday morning. Sheriff Mark Schrader says the water gathered so quickly, the sheriff's office was completely filled with water by 6 a.m.
The whole block here had I would say probably 2 to 3 feet of water above what's normal that we normally see.
Many secondary streets have been blocked off, some washed away, and several cars left waiting to be towed out of the water.
Some of the bridges that we've noticed has been washed out, and we've had several calls for stranded motorists on a lot of those secondary roads.
One resident we spoke with says he's never seen anything like this in the 30 years he's lived in Summerville. Several businesses were closed as water filled the sidewalks in front of their doors. And Sheriff Schrader says a few homes became victims to the flood.
We have had some right here in this 3-block area inside the city limits. There's been a few that we've had to actually try to help get out of the houses.
Chattooga County Commissioner Blake Ellsbury says they have several crews working on the flooded roads, but advises people not to get behind the wheel.
I would say stay in as much as you can. If you don't have to get out, don't get out. We're closing roads right now. We got at least 3 or 4 road crews out, and they're addressing all the issues as they see them.
The sheriff's office does hope that the water does drain out by today, but the North Summerville Baptist Church has opened their door to people who may need a place to dry off or wait out the rain. In Chattooga County, Cornelia Nicholson, Local 3 News.
The Chattooga County Sheriff's Office and County Commission Office asks residents if they see any damaged or flooded roads to give them a call so they can block it off. And as always, do not drive through it. Summerville's Mayor Harry Harvey says those seeking water in his city could be out of luck for 3 to 4 days and maybe even longer. In the meantime, water trucks will be brought into the area. Local 3's Jeremiah Beatty is continuing our coverage on this storm alert weather day. She has boots on the ground now in Tryon, Georgia, with a look at current conditions and how to deal with the lack of water during this ongoing flooding. Good afternoon, Jeremiah.
Good afternoon, Paul. I'm currently in Tryon, Georgia right now, just by Central Avenue. If you take a look behind me, Chattooga River is right there. Earlier this week, the National Weather Service reported that this river was just 2 feet, but now it's at 16 feet with all the rain and flooding. It could impact highways like US 27 or Rome Boulevard. Officials here are warning everyone to stay inside, and if you are out and about, you know the saying, turn around, don't drown. Now, earlier today, the city of Summerville placed a boil advisory on the water due to today's flooding. That means all water will need to be boiled for at least a minute before drinking, cooking, or before pairing your child's formula. Now, city leaders said students may not have access to water when they return to school Tuesday, but the superintendent will make a decision on whether to cancel classes on Monday by noon. We'll have much more on this at 11 tonight. Reporting live in Tryon, Georgia, Jeremiah Beatty, Local 3 News.
Jeremiah, thanks so much out there. Be safe. Report back at 11. We'll hear from more. And just before we head to Cedric to break down more of the ongoing flooding, here's a video sent in by a viewer of just how bad it really is. Alexia McGuire captured this field of water in Chattooga County. Cedric, it does not look good out there. And honestly, Jeremiah just said it. One river right there went from 2 feet to 16 feet. That's a 14-foot difference in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. And of course, that's the reason why we call this a flash flood situation, because the flooding happens in a flash, just like that. You can get a torrential amount of rainfall in a very short period of time, and basically the water cannot go anywhere. It basically cannot soak into the ground, so all it does is builds up quickly, and that's what leads to the flooding out there. Let me show you the 24-hour radar estimates here across the Tennessee Valley. We had two swaths of heavy rainfall, one up along the plateau where we have averaged anywhere between 3 to 4 inches of rainfall there, and then of course the big one was off to the south. You can see areas like Jasper, Whitwell over towards Dunlap, and Pikeville over towards Altamont, some of the highest totals there, and then down towards the south across Chattooga County, the bullseye, where you see radar estimating, yes, anywhere between 10 to 12 plus inches of rainfall. In just a few moments, I'll show you some of the Skywatcher numbers, and specifically from our Skywatcher bin down in Somerville. You'll see some amazing numbers there. But right now, we still have flash flood warnings ongoing until about 10:30 tonight across portions of this area here as flooding continues there. The rain is shifting to the east, mainly light amounts, but there are some pockets of moderate rainfall over towards Cherokee and Polk counties. But you can see we're getting a little bit of a lull across the area now, but more heavy rainfall developing to our south and west and will be moving in the coming days. It's all a part of this storm system that's pulling in deeper moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico. So this evening, scattered showers and storms off and on, not raining completely, but it'll be off and on. And we've got a flood watch across southeast Tennessee through Monday night. We'll talk much more about the storm alert weather day heading into your Labor Day. More rain is on the way, Paul. Details in just a few moments.
Cedric, thank you. Check back in a bit.